Chapter 24, Home Again. After almost a month, our vacation at the French settlement was coming to an end. Commander Laurent said it was finally safe for us to return home, but I was a little conflicted. Now, part of me was excited. I missed so many things. I missed my own bed, Meme's laughter, Salty Bill's cooking. I even missed Sai's emergency drills. Most of all, I was eager to see with my own eyes that they were all healthy and well. I wanted to erase that last image of them that I had in my mind, of them lying sick in bed and coughing. But another part of me was sad to leave the new things I discovered at the French settlement. Tasty crepes, ping pong, stinky babies. Most of all, my new friends, Wei and Tavi and Amelie. Would I be able to see them again? Do you think we'll get to come back? I asked. It was late and we were all in bed. The room was quiet for the moment because Albie was still awake. I don't know, Trey said. I hope so. Albie was more confident. I'm sure Sai will be okay with it. I mean, after all, look what they've done for us. I felt a little better. And then Albie started snoring. Psst, Bill, Trey whispered. Are you awake? Yeah, I said. Who can sleep with Albie snoring? Maybe when we get home, we can switch rooms again? Soxy, I said, and he laughed. Now I know why Vera and Flossie were so happy to have me in their room. On the morning of our departure, all the kids came to see us off. There were presents and lots of tears, mostly from the teenagers. My friends brought me treats. Wei gave me a bag of eggs, which Salty Bill would love, and Tavi gave me a small plastic cat. Looks just like Leo, I said. It is him, he beamed. I made it myself. Amelie handed me a bag with a dramatic flair. My present is the best, she announced. It's a ping-pong paddle, I exclaimed, and then my face fell. But I don't have a ping-pong table. Exactly, Amelie said with a sly wink. This way you'll have to come back here to play with us. I almost started crying. But before I could, Commander Laurent walked up to me with a shy look and handed me a bouquet of daisies. Thanks, I told her. She leaned down and whispered in my ear. Actually, they're for Commander Sai. Commander Sai? He'll understand what they mean, she told me. It's an old Earth custom. I'll give him to him, I promised. Then it was time to board the train home. Albie was the last to get on. As we pulled away from the dock, I looked back and saw Layla. She was wearing Albie's baseball cap. Armand drove us back to our settlement on the French train. Sai was waiting on the dark platform with a glow stick when we arrived. His face was thinner, but he seemed rested, like he'd finally gotten a good night's sleep. I'd never realized how tired he always looked. Which made sense, I guessed. I mean, after all, he was in charge. It wasn't like he could take a vacation. Here they are, Sai, safe and sound, Armand said with a smile. Thank you, Sai told him. Then we were rushing through the door and down the corridor, and I smelled a scent that's impossible to describe. It smelled like home. They're here, someone shouted. Maybe Salty Bill, and we were surrounded by hugs. Memes, I cried, hugging her tight. Oh, Belle, she said, I think you've grown. I thought of everything I'd experienced in the French settlement. Maybe I had grown a little. My eyes carefully catalogued them one by one. Meme's eyes were bright and her cheeks were rosy. Salty Bill had shaved his beard and he looked years younger. Ileana and Darby were their old selves. Where did you get those flowers? Memes asked. Oh, I said, Commander Laurent gave me them to give to Sai. Memes raised an eyebrow. Really? Here you go, I told Sai, handing him the flowers. His hands shook a little as he took them. Well, he muttered and looked down fast. That evening, Salty Bill made a big welcome home dinner with all our favorite foods. I looked around the table at everyone's smiling faces. We're very glad you children are home, Darby said. This place hasn't been the same without you. Did you know they have a baby in the French settlement? Flossie said. He's so cute. Yeah, except when he cries, I said. I met my nanny, Vera said. Gaspard said that I was a very good baby. Yeah, and there was a big dance party, and everyone came, Flossie explained. And we danced all night, and we stayed up until morning, and then we had breakfast. The grown-ups looked at each other. Who's everyone? Cy asked. Well, all the kids from all the other settlements, Flossie said, and then ticked them off on her fingers. Misha, Tatiana, Lok, Leila, Kurtu. I see, Cy said, and frowned. Why did you all lie to us? Vera asked in her usual blunt way. Cy raised an eyebrow. Lie? About all the other countries being dangerous. They're not dangerous. They're fun. Cy stood up stiffly. Excuse me, I need to go check on the weather. After he'd left the room, Vera shook her head. Really, she muttered. If we lied half as much as grown-ups do, we'd be on timeout forever. Our home looked better than it ever had, and not just because I'd missed it. The rescue team had been busy, and in addition to nursing our grown-ups back to health, they'd repaired things. Everywhere I looked, there were improvements. They'd fixed the light timer. They'd installed a new kind of battery charger so we didn't have to ration power and we could have hot showers. Salty Bill's cabinets were full of interesting ingredients they donated, different spices and flours and bars of chocolate. They'd even planted new vegetables and fruits in the algae farm. And the biggest difference was in Cy's workshop. His shelves were practically overflowing with supplies, most of which I'd never seen before. What's this? I asked Cy, picking up a rubber blob-shaped thing. It was tacky and squishy at the same time. It's a kind of bonding agent, he said, his fingers hovering over his digislate. It works better than duct tape, supposedly. The flowers from Commander Laurent were in a plastic jar of water on his desk. What does it mean? I asked him. What does what mean? Well, Commander Laurent said that giving someone flowers was an Earth tradition, I said. What does it mean? Cy's face turned beet red. Yes, well, it has many different meanings, I suppose. Friendship, of course. I remembered the digipic of him and Commander Laurent dressed as pirates. You were friends with Commander Laurent? Yes, he said, looking down. Did you play ping pong with her? Ping pong? Yeah, we played it every day at the French settlement. Commander Laurent played it against me a few times, I said. She was really good at it. He barked a laugh. Oh, I remember. She's the most brilliant woman I ever met, he said, and he looked sad. So I changed the subject. What are you working on? I asked him. He rubbed his forehead. Well, I'm writing a situation report to send to command. I need to fill them in on everything that's happened since we were rescued. Can you ask them to send kittens? I was just joking. After everything you children have been through, you certainly deserve a kitten, he said, a solemn look coming over his face. I didn't know what to say. Belle, Cy said, Trey told me what happened on the train. It was very, very brave of you to walk through the tunnel by yourself to get help. But he was wrong. I hadn't been brave. I almost gave up. I was scared the whole time, I confessed. His eyes met mine, and he nodded. That's what bravery feels like, he said. I was happy to be back in my own bed. There was no denying the comfort of being home, and I was looking forward to some changes. Trey was moving back in with me, and Albie would be moving into Phineas's old room. And as much as I loved Albie, I was getting a little sick of the sad music. Albie kept playing the same 3 songs over and over and over again. He was doing it now, lying in bed and staring at the ceiling as the music played. The songs were about broken hearts and lost love and being alone forever. They were worse than the snoring. Albie, I finally said, can you maybe play something else? I mean, it doesn't have to be happy, just not so sad. He sighed and clicked off the music, and he whispered, I miss her so much, Belle. It wasn't hard to figure out who he was talking about. Layla. Every single second of the day. I wonder what she's doing, he said. I wonder what she's thinking. What is she eating? You think about what she's eating? Really? I'm in love, Belle, he said. Now, I wasn't sure what else to say. I mean, this seemed like a conversation that he should be having with Flossie, and she had a lot of opinions on romance and, well, mostly what to wear when falling in love. What am I going to do next? He asked me. Well, supper's in half an hour, I said. Not now, he said. I mean in the future. I want to see her again. I can't just forget. I understood what Albie meant. I couldn't stop thinking about everything I'd seen and experienced in the other settlements. It was like having a bite of delicious cake. I wanted more. Well, maybe you can ask Cy if we can have a visit, I suggested. I did, Albie confessed, and he said no. I wasn't surprised. Well, did he give you a reason? Cy said the illness was a crisis situation, but things are back to normal now. It's not fair. And that's when I knew how upset Albie was, because he never disagreed with Cy. It was like watching a small crack start to form. Albie clicked the music back on and rolled over to face the wall, making a noise that sounded suspiciously like a sob. And then the sad song swelled in our room.